how tasty fresh turds can be. Alright, I'm going to make a little fire here, and I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I've got fat wood, and this here is something I was experimenting with. This is real cotton with Carmax lip gloss, of all things, rubbed through it. The primary ingredient in that is beeswax, so it should work really good. And off to the side here, you may not be able to see it, I got a little pile here of real dry madrone, dead branches off the bottom of the madrone trees. So let's, oh yeah, and I've got my Swiss Army knife, the Forester model, and what they're now calling a TACS fire starter. It's got 2 magnesium bars and 1 ferro rod. This didn't used to be a TACS fire starter. I guess TACS seen it, liked it, bought the rights to it, and increased the price. So, capitalism. You gotta love it. So we're going to be using that. Alrighty then. So, let's just make a little base here, because that ground is kind of damp. You know, we're doing this the old-fashioned way today. I didn't bring the Boy Scout juice with me. Well, actually I did, but I left it in the truck about a half mile away, and I ain't going back for it. So, what I want to do is just try to make fire the old-fashioned way, and heat up a cup of water to have myself a cup of mocha. That might be a little big for tender. What you think? Yeah, I agree. It would work for a base though, but I'm going to use that as fuel in a minute. That ought to do it. There in the middle like that. Smells like lip gloss. I wonder why. Oh, let's see here. Could probably split that up a little bit, baton it down, if you can call this batoning. This is a Woodsman Pro from Blind Horse Knives. It's one of my favorite knives. It's made out of check that. This is made out of 01 tool steel. And I don't know if you can see it in this light or not, but I put a pretty wicked patina, forced patina on it. What I did was soak it overnight in apple cider vinegar, and then dab some mustard on it. Jack Daniels mustard, if makes any difference. I really don't think it does. Dab some mustard on it. You gotta be careful with these next 2 steps, because if you leave them on too long, it'll actually etch the metal. So for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, I left the mustard dabs on. Did one side at a time, and washed it off. And then I diced some onions up. This is really cool. Diced some onions up and laid the diced onions on it all over the place, and it gives it kind of that Damascus steel look. Also, I didn't really like the edge that this came with. It came with a convex, a funky convex edge that I just couldn't seem to get sharp, or didn't want to learn how to get it sharp, or didn't want to fool with it, or what the hell. Okay, I just didn't like it. So I reprofiled it. I got my Lansky out and reprofiled it to about a, I guess that's probably about a 20 20 or 25 degree edge or so, but it's just, woo! That is just scary sharp, man. So let's see here once. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that works really great. I'm actually trying not to baton it down into this rock. That would be technically called what's known as a bad thing. Also, since you could actually shave with this, I'm trying not to slice myself open with it. Though I know that would look cool on camera, you know, because I don't really mind other people's blood, but my blood, I like it to stay where it belongs. I know I don't need 2 of these, but overkill is rarely a bad thing. Have I bored you to tears yet? Well, I'll edit some of this down. Shit. You see what happens? You see what happens when you have a couple of shots of whiskey and you talk to the camera instead of paying attention? You whack your knife into the rock. Though it didn't seem to hurt it. I must have only just tapped it. I can see where it curled it just a little bit. Son of a... I'll strop that. It'll come right out. But yeah, not the smartest thing in the world to be batoning on a rock. Yeah, but I've done a lot of things in my life that weren't exactly, well, let's just say, smart. But I will try to avoid doing that again. So, anyway, I think I got enough of that fine stuff. Alrighty. I will dispense with the magnesium because don't really need it. At least I hope I really don't need it. And you know, not the best thing to do with your knife, but this little sack Swiss Army knife holds up pretty good. So anyway, ferro rod. And we have fire. Smells like pine with lip balm. Wonder why. Tinder, kindling, fuel. This is fuel, but what the hell? Put that rock in there because that's what I'm going to set my cup on in a minute. By the way, I have made fire! And yes, it's hot. Drone stuff just rocks. I don't know where all it grows, but it grows in the Pacific Northwest. Team America. F yeah. This is a Maxpedition 10x4 canteen cover and a Diet Design stainless steel Nalgene. It's single wall. I could just heat my water up in that if I wanted to, but I don't want to. Oh, and this is a kick-ass titanium mug. Ooh, titanium. Titanium. Just nestle that little puppy right in there like that. Uh-huh. Now we're cooking with bacon grease. Woo! As Squid Billy would say, hell yeah! Ah, Starbucks. Starbucks Ready Brew Via Coffee. I wonder when this expired. Best if used before August 2012. Starbucks, how bad can it be? Yeah, we'll use 2 of them. Caffeine high, baby, caffeine high. And you know what? Somewhere off camera, I think I got some Swiss cocoa. Swiss Miss Cocoa. Let's just go all the way, you know? If you're prepared, going all the way is usually the way to go. That probably didn't sound very good, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time, so. Yeah, baby. Swiss Miss. Woo. Oh, man. I really miss my dad. Some good memories there. He passed away back in January of 2001. And I really miss him. I'll tell you what, if your dad's still alive, talk to your dad now. Ask him questions. You know? Because once your dad's gone, he's gone. You know, perfect example is I have all my dad's war medals under glass. I ended up with them. But the documentation that I got, you know, is very very sparse. You know, the Purple Heart, combat wounded in Germany, you know, that's about it. I mean, I know the wound that he got. He got hit by a sniper and creased his forehead. So I mean, I remember as a kid. I mean, to the day he died, you could reach up there and feel the groove in his forehead where the round almost killed him. And the Bronze Star, that's kind of a separate story. But the Silver Star, the documentation that I have for the Silver Star that my dad was awarded, says that it was for an heroic act above and beyond the call of duty in the face of the enemy. So that's all I had to go on, because my dad would never tell me why he was awarded the Silver Star or what he did. He just and you know, he would never tell me. And you know, when he passed away, I talked to my mom, and she said that he would never talk about why and what he did to be awarded the Silver Star. So, you know, I looked it up online. There was only like 600 Silver Stars awarded in all of World War II. And I swear, they were all for like Audie Murphy stuff. I mean, oh my God. I mean, the stuff online, it was just amazing, the stuff that people did. I mean, you know, charging 20 German machine gun nests, killing, you know, Germans single-handedly, hand to hand, and just a bunch of Audie Murphy, more war movie hero stuff. But I don't know what my dad did to get the Silver Star. And the point that I'm trying to make here is my dad's gone now. And I will never know what he did to get that Silver Star. So if you got a dad, talk to him. Ask him questions about the family that, you know, only him or older ones in your family know. Because as these people pass away, that information goes with them. So, anyway, I hope you're enjoying my ramblings. Okay, these are Bigfoot Bob Campfire Ramblings. I gotta tell you, dude, this campfire is nice because it's getting chilly out here. Sitting here in the shade. It is such a beautiful day. But it is only, you know, March, and I'm up here probably, oh, I don't know what the elevation is here. Probably around 3,000 feet. I don't know. But I can look over and see snow-capped mountains, and there's snow on the ground around here. So it's a little nippy out. But I'm really enjoying myself. And hell, while I'm at it, I might as well tell you about the Bronze Star, because I don't know whether this was true or a BS story that my dad told me. But when I asked him why he was awarded the Bronze Star, this is the story that he told me, told my mom, told pretty much everybody that I ever asked, okay, to confirm this. This is what he told me happened when he got the Bronze Star. My dad said there was two things in World War II that he absolutely hated. Okay, it was grenades with a government fuse that was supposed to burn down in 5 seconds. It was notorious, he said, to burn down in 2 seconds. He said so only Audie Murphy would pull the pin, let the spoon go, and count to 3. He says nobody did that. You pull the pin, let the spoon go, and you get rid of that sucker. He says, because, you know, that fuse is supposed to take 5 seconds to burn down. You know, if you're unlucky, it's going to go in 2 seconds. So, pull the pin, throw the spoon, and let it go. So he didn't like grenades. But another thing my dad absolutely despised was mortars. He said, it's not like in the movies. He said, you know, mortars, he says, don't whistle when they come in. He says they're completely silent. They just drop out of the sky with maybe a slight whooshing sound, but no whistling like none of that stuff. He says mortars, most times you wouldn't know were there until the first one exploded. He said if you were lucky, he said sometimes, he said, and this would just raise the hair up on the back of my neck because he says you didn't know where they were coming down. He says off in the distance you would hear the mortars. If it was a real quiet night, you know, you would hear the mortars hitting the bottoms of their tube and plumping as they took off, you know, plump. He said they sounded like plump, 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 plump. And it was a mortar barrage being directed at somebody. And he said, hopefully not me. He said, but one night, he says, we were all just standing around. He says, I don't know. My dad probably told me what they were doing. I don't know. But he says, you know, he says, my dad says there was a foxhole over there. And he says, the captain was standing between me and the foxhole. He says, and the first mortar landed. He says they had heard them, because it was a quiet night. They heard them off in the distance. Plump, 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 plump. The mortars hitting the bottom of the tubes. And sure enough, a few seconds later, there was an explosion. And they realized they were being mortared. So, like, remember what I told you? The captain's standing here, and the foxhole's over there. Well, my dad pushes his captain into the foxhole and dives on top of the captain. Right? And then mortars are just going off all over the place. You know. So, my dad really didn't think much about it until he got the Bronze Star. Right? And come to find out that the captain had put my dad in for an heroic act for saving his life, for pushing him into the foxhole and covering him with his body, right, to save his captain. My dad goes, "Oh, to hell with that." He goes, "He was in my way." He goes, "I pushed him in the hole, the foxhole, and jumped on top of him." He says, "It never even crossed my mind that I was trying to save his life." Oh man, that just cracks me up to this day. Gets a Bronze Star for an heroic act. You know, the captain, probably to the day he died, was thinking of my dad, you know, trying to save his life, and all my dad was interested in was getting to that foxhole, and he was in the way. Oh man. But you know, you enter the Army as a buck private, right? And I'm looking at my dad's rank. There was times when he was a corporal, and there was times when he was a sergeant. But he left the Army as a private. You know, my dad told me once that the stripes should have been zippered to his shoulder, right? He said his personal best. My dad did not want to hold rank. He said, because when you hold rank in the Army, you have to be responsible for sending other people to their death. He says, I never minded volunteering for something dangerous. He goes, but I'll be damned if I personally was going to send one of my buddies to die, right? So my dad did not want rank, but you can't turn it down. You get rank, you know, hey, you're a sergeant now. Hey, you're a sergeant. You're not turning this down, you're a sergeant. But my dad said his personal best, because, you know, there's always ways to get around everything. You know, my dad said his personal best was being promoted from corporal to sergeant and busted to private in the same day. He said, I lasted I lasted as a corporal a couple of weeks. He says, I was a sergeant one day, less than a day. Man, it is so quiet out here. It is so quiet. And my water is almost ready. I would say that it's good to go right now. Real close. And which is really good timing because I'm out of wood. I gathered just enough to make a little Indian fire here and heat my cup of coffee up. And I'd say it's good to go. So, ooh, yeah, I forgot about this. Any chance to use titanium, you know. Titanium spork. I mean, this is some Star Trek stuff, man. It's by Snow Peak, and it's not even made in China. It's made in Japan. Ooh, cool. I wonder what expired Starbucks coffee tastes like. Well, we is soon going to find out. Oh, yeah. That'll hook me up for the drive home. Oh, man, that is what I'm talking about. It's even got the little marshmallows in it. Ooh, not very manly, but they taste good. Yeah. Yeah, if you call it that, I spilled boiling hot liquid on my leg, yeah. But I didn't scream like a little girl, so I am proud of that. Yeah, and it hurt too, so anyway. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, that coffee's expired. Yeah. Yeah, I've had better. But you know what Crocodile Dundee says, right? Yeah, you know. Might taste like shit, but you can live on it. Is Bigfoot Bob? signing off. Just remember, be careful what you step in and always watch your six. Zombies. Can't trust any of them.